In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. By the time, indeed, mankind is in loss, except for those who have believed and done righteous deed and advise each other to truth and advise each other to patience. A very warm welcome to the another live session organized by the podcast Grow Together. Today's topic is to discuss the learning, organization, and the growth of the employee. To discuss this topic, I invited one of the very honorable guests and a very known faculty of Ikra University, Mr. Mirza Faizan Beg. He is pursuing MPhil from University of Karachi, and most important, he is the founder of Conductivity Careers and HR Solutions. He is a trainer, career counselor, and HR mentor. He has experience of more than 16 years in various organizations in and outside Pakistan. He is the pioneer in the total HR outsourcing in Pakistan and providing consulting services in governance, HR operations, recruitment and selection, training and development, systemization, and performance development. He is associated with IU as a visiting faculty in Business Administration Department. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for first of all inviting me, Mudassir. And I'm good.
Thank
Alhamdulillah. What about you?
Thank you so much, sir. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine for accepting an invitation, and it's an honor for me to have you on my show.
The honor is all mine. It's a very good program. I actually, watched a couple of, episodes, and these programs are really helping. Actually, these are good. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, sir. So, the first thing which we want to understand that we have a different kind of organizations. But from the last years, we have been observed that organization move towards the learning organization or the organization culture move towards the learning environment. So how would you take this?
I consider this name conductivity that I've kept for my organization.
Yeah,
it has a meaning actually. Conductivity is all about energy transfer, and we consider organizations as useful circuits, which actually like devices. So these organizations, we see them as devices. So as you already know that we have a full scale transition from technology, which was back in the era of we are living in a fourth industrial revolution, right? So there have been 3 industrial revolutions. So the technology is progressing, and by the progress of the technology, that is something which which has also progressed, the style of organization, the management of organization. So earlier we were actually only production organizations, maybe. Now we're no longer production organization. We are knowledge organization now. So whosoever in the world has greater knowledge of what the need of the customer is and how it is going to met, those organizations are going to, and that actually brings up the concept of learning organizations. So if you allow me, I have a presentation with me. So if you allow me, I'll share it with you today. So you can ask, you can keep asking questions if you want to.
Sir, by the way, how would you decide this to be a part of HR? It was decided decision or did you?
Yeah, अच्छा, सही है. I'll answer this question first. अच्छा, पता है क्या, Mudassir, it was a very interesting journey, and I actually did not decide about going into HR. I actually tried. I graduated from Varia University, Varia Institute of Management and Computer Sciences, which was affiliated with Peshawar University at that time. It was not the Varia University today. So yes, so we were the last batch which actually passed out from Peshawar University affiliation, and at that time there were very few universities. Ikra University was there, but there were very few universities, like, the mushrooming wasn't there. So what happened was that I went into the market, and I had some aspirations which changed along the way. So from 2001 until 2004 September, this was 2001 July, until 2004 September, I had changed almost 7 fields. I went
Okay.
into marketing. Yeah, I went into marketing, sales. I went into project management. I got into uh, like uh, designing. Even I went to Peshawar to actually do a course in gemology. So it wasn't
Okay.
a it wasn't
Not a planned
something.
decision.
Yeah, not a planned decision, but thing that I was trying and testing myself. And wherever I would not find myself comfortable, I would move on. So I was the youngest in the family, so nobody actually
Concerned about it.
yeah. So I wasn't a learner. I had that liberty. So it actually
Yeah.
paid off. And I taught to very young people earlier in my career as well. So but family pressures were there, so I had to actually move on from education. But I never actually I never uh, really forgot educating people. So whenever I got a chance, I actually registered myself as a counselor, trainer, facilitator, and I came back.
Great.
I kept coming back. Yeah. So that's my journey. So
And
HR actually the decision for HR. Sorry, you would actually
yeah.
be interested in this part. See, I was a people's person, but I was not a sales kind of a person, numeric person. I wasn't at that time.
Okay.
But eventually, when I came into HR, I came to know that it's all about numerics as well. So I
Yeah.
had to develop, yeah. So I had to develop this skill as well. So uh, I came into HR. I liked the kind of job it offers, the career it offers, and I stuck to HR for now. It's 16 years plus. My cumulative
Much.
experience, by the way, is 20 years, and
That's great.
yeah.
And sir, how
Yeah.
would you found this conductivity?
Yeah, conductivity was actually, it was a reaction of whatever I faced as as a student. So when I already told you that I had to change 8 careers to be in HR. But one of the things that stuck to my mind was as soon as I got into HR, and I was an instant success there. Uh, where I joined Deloitte Yusufadil earlier. So what it wasn't a coincidence, and I actually came to know this that it's not a coincidence, but it is a very cruel thing that we don't have people counseling others, and this thought stuck to me, and I had decided in 2004 that I will be a career counselor, and I will keep helping people. But as I actually progressed in my career, I actually came to know that not many people are actually doing career counseling, and alone, I won't be able to do anything. So I founded a company while I was in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
I actually saw firsthand what happens to us outside Pakistan, what kind of a third degree citizen we are, and what kind of what kind of turmoils and what kind of atrocities we have to face outside Pakistan, just because we don't have career guidance. We
Unfortunately.
don't have, yeah. So I actually found this company because I had to face a lot of things firsthand. So this is a reaction. This is a social reaction actually. This company.
And sir, by the way, how much the role of HR changed before the COVID and after the COVID-19?
HR role has enhanced actually. We have now gone agile. We have to coordinate between people working at home and the people who are working in office. So there were times that 50% population was allowed. It was challenging. There were times then when there was no person allowed in the office and the work had to go on. So it was a challenging time, and dynamics are changing. So right now I'm sitting in my office, and it's a back office as well.
Yeah,
And people are sitting here. They are serving Saudi Arabia.
that's great.
So yeah. So this is how the work has evolved for HR and HR
Things
companies.
have been changed.
Yeah.
So cool. So, the next thing which I want to discuss with you is that how can organizations transform themselves into learning organizations?
Yeah, I have actually, got something ready for you. Thank you very much for sharing the agenda firsthand. So I was able to actually jot down some points for you. So I hope you'll like it.
Yes,
So,
it's visible.
okay, thank you. So, learning organizations, actually, it was a term coined by Peter Senge in his book, The Fifth Discipline. And Peter Senge is a guy from MIT, Michigan Institute of Technology. And by learning organizations, he actually meant an organization whose members are constantly, continuously transforming themselves, and by virtue of those members, the organization is transforming itself. There is an excellent article. I have given the link here, and I'll obviously share this presentation.
Definitely,
With you.
I will show this link in
Yeah,
the caption as well.
yeah, and you can actually, you can give this link to your audience. So there are this guy was not the only person who was thinking in this direction. So somebody for Japan, he also said that inventing new knowledge is not a specialized activity. It is a way of behaving for new organizations, and knowledge workers are now at the forefront of it. So what do we mean by that? See, organizations are now, with the advent of ERPs, with the advent of softwares like SAP
Yeah,
and Oracle, they are actually generating a lot of data, and that data, when it's processes, it actually converts into knowledge. So these people who are actually sitting at the helm of the affairs, they are now knowledge workers as well. So the mid managers who produce analysis for the top organizations, they actually see those trends visibly. So that's what he's calling the knowledge worker. And like this article, building a learning organization, this actually gives you some building blocks. So systematic problem solving, experimentation, learning from past experiences, learning from others, and transferring knowledge. So I will actually convert this just after a couple of slides. So I want to display two concepts first. Before that, we move forward and understand how the organizations are
yeah,
behaving right now. So in today's world, the dollar, the idea, the dollar, which is the money, is of less value than the things that you demand. That's why you actually exchange. That's exactly why
yeah,
you give money and buy products. Okay. So you
yeah.
buy products, you buy services, you buy ideas, right? And this, by the way, what you are doing right now is a wonderful idea, right? The podcasting. So people actually, they invest their internet money on you, and they watch you. So
Yeah,
their money, in a way, it's coming to you, right? And it's coming because your idea is good, right? So this is
yes,
how things go. If you need surf, you are going to purchase the detergent, and you are going to pay the price for that
yeah,
detergent surf. And if you're not interested in that particular brand, you can change the brand because of some product features or the
definitely,
economy, right?
definitely.
So people actually either go for economy or go for product features. Okay.
Yeah,
So this is the basic concept. This is the basic concept of business.
very-
And coming to the second part of it, people, the organization actually are run by people, and organizations actually deliver value to their customers, right? So
true.
customers actually go for desired values. They either go for economy, or they go for product features, right? As I said.
Exactly.
And yeah, and the companies these companies actually either target growth, profitability, productivity, or even desired competencies. This is one thing which we should need to understand. By desired competency, they actually throw new ideas, new services, new products in the market, and they try to actually develop their muscles to manage those products, those services in the market, right? And
Yes.
eventually they actually become capable, and their products start selling and they earn money from it. But in doing so, these organizations actually use their employees who come to them
Yeah.
for marketable salaries, off time, worker participation fund, insurance, medical, transportation, and not to forget careers.
Yes.
They are actually coming for careers as well. So this is where the game actually gets very interesting. Everybody is playing a game, and they are actually playing their game
Yeah.
well. So many organizations, they think that their employees are not going to move. It's not the same world anymore. They have opportunities. They have opportunities inside,
Yes.
outside
Yes.
country. They have remote opportunities. They are going to move. If you're not going to give them career, they are going to move. Okay,
So it means that to make a learning organization is in the favor of the organization as well. Am I right?
absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And in doing so, this slide actually is a powerful message for organizations as well as employees.
Yeah.
So the organizations that actually develop their desired competencies, these are the organizations that actually experiment. These are the
Hmm.
organizations that deal with their problems. These are the organizations that actually have a growth potential. So everybody likes to be a part of such organizations. Okay, another part of your understanding before we actually go and apply the learning organizations parameters on any organization, we need to understand that there are value delivery models. Okay, so the client which was actually getting this customer this proposition, desired proposition, this proposition comes to him either in the shape of a distribution network or a service or a project. Okay, and all these departments are working together in unison to deliver the client whatever he or she requires, right? Or
Yeah.
maybe if it's an organization that requires. So the new organizations that are working today, they actually are arranged like this, not like hierarchies. These
Yeah.
organizations are now arranged like this. So the client is at the center of your attention, and then you are actually trying to actually cover the client with a
Yeah.
core delivery team, and then
Yes.
these associate teams, they come in, and these associate teams, like these are the people who support the core operation. They are the people who are actually at the call center or at
Yeah.
the inventory house, or maybe like they are the drivers, or they are the logistic people. And then there are support teams, HR, IT, like these are the people who are actually supporting them. And then there are management teams, like the senior management and the owners. So this is how the business is organized in like today's world. So
Are working.
whenever you're actually you're applying all the time, the organizations that apply the concepts of a learning organization, like systematic problem solving, the
Yeah.
experimentation, learning from past experiences, from what the data that you are generating daily, from your point of sales, from your from your data analysis that you had actually produced for any kind of planning or maybe projections, and learning from other organizations, learning from others, from
Competitive
department to department,
organizations.
or maybe trainers like us. So these are the things that you're and transferring knowledge, and engaging uh, in the world, which is our hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. You are audible. You are audible.
Right. So I was saying that in the Western world mainly, when we are actually uh, uh, when we see organizations such as 3M or maybe Microsoft, these
Yeah.
organizations is actually, they are learning from their experiences, and they're sharing their knowledge as well. They're transferring knowledge as well. So their sharing centers and their, the entire organization actually has a lot of, even in Deloitte where I used to work,
Yeah.
there's a full network of resources. It's called Deloitte Resources, and across the globe, people were whatever proposal I would make, I would actually be able to post that proposal somewhere, so that my other teams in different countries, they can actually use those proposals for knowledge transferring, knowledge sharing. It becomes a part of the organization. Okay, so now we are in the, in the core of this, learning organization
Learning
component.
organization.
Yeah. So you need to understand the concept of human capital management. Human capital management has actually everything to do with the knowledge, skills, and abilities of the entire organization. So your organization's competency is the competency of the top management, the middle management,
Yeah.
right? And this
Yeah.
competency means knowledge, skills, and abilities, right?
Yeah.
And when the organization actually delivers some value to someone, it is the people and the processes who actually, together make the skill inventory, the network inventory, the organizational
Organizational.
knowledge inventory. So these are the things that need to understand. And putting it short, I gave a training in hands about this human capital management. So I
Yeah.
actually put it simply: knowledge, skills, and abilities of hands is equal to knowledge, skills, abilities of the entire organization. It's a multiplying factor. However, the top management is going to use the middle management and the and the workers. The skill level, the knowledge level, the networks of the entire organization actually has a multiplying factor. If you are weak, your organization is going to produce lesser results. If you're
Yeah.
strong, your organization is going to produce more results. So as a functionality, hands, it's top management, it's mid management, and it's workers. They actually are responsible for whatever products hands is actually delivering. It is it is in 18,000 villages. It is
Oh,
serving
that's great.
3.3 million people. So hands is actually one organization which is a very good, unique organization which you can study as far as learning organization is concerned.
Hmm.
Is in Pakistan, I would really recommend you interview someone from hands. Aslam Saab,
Definitely.
who was the previous he was the shared services head. You can actually contact him if you want to understand.
Definitely, I will. Definitely, I will. It
Or
means that they have discussed the concept of support each other and grow together.
agreed. So this is all from the point of view of the organization. We have not come to the employee side, and now we are coming
Yeah.
to the employee
Yeah.
side. What does the employee want from the organization? Any employee who comes to you, he is actually asking for return on efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those efforts he wants return in terms of intellectual capital, like he wants to be wiser. He wants to
Yeah.
grow from with the time.
Have certain
He or she.
expectations for organization.
Sorry, I lost your voice. Hold on.
He has certain expectations from the organization. Am I audible to you?
Yes, no, that's it. Come again, please.
My point is that every person who joined the organization, he has certain expectations from the organization.
Yeah. So these expectations are these, na? We are talking about return on effort. Organizations, all of the organizations actually connect with their human resources. To what level they actually connect is similar to the if you have learned about chemical reactions. So there are certain kind of bondings, right? एक वो होती है जो वीक बॉन्डिंग होती है, एक जो है वो मतलब डबल बॉन्डिंग होती है, एक ट्रिपल बॉन्डिंग होती है, right?
Yeah.
So we are talking about that kind of bonding. The employee, if you actually want to engage an employee, you can actually, engage him at 6, 7 levels. So if you're engaging this employee in your system, you are engaging him or her with their intellectual capital, with their, body, mind, spirit, with their work achievements, with their social community, status. You are actually giving support to their families. You're giving them wealth, which is different from the salary. Obviously, it is something which actually stays with them. Like the bonuses and the investment plans that you give them. So these are the things that actually makes employees stay with you. And as far as this spiritual satisfaction, moral satisfaction is concerned, you can actually do a lot of things to actually let them stay with you. The point is, Mudassir, that organizations that have this kind of concept, right, they actually understand that their employees are going to be needing these things, and they engage their employees in a career which provides this, which keeps nourishing their needs, which keeps them going in the organization. So one of the questions people have, from time to time, that if we should stay in one organization, or if we should actually transit from organization to organization. So the answer is that if the organization is wise enough to invest you in multiple projects, and it is wise enough to give you this kind of nourishment that you feel to continue, you should continue. Organizations such as
Yes, sir, please continue.
Organizations such as Angro, Hapco, these organizations have seen that they actually invest in their employees, and when they have a particular system of finding out the potential candidates, and they actually figure out the potential candidates, then they actually earmark them and they keep working on them until they prove themselves to be worthy. And then what they do is they actually pick them up, and they actually they round them up very well in the organization. They give them opportunities to grow. They give them faster opportunities to grow. So this is the way organizations actually grow. I know this person, Mr. Farrukh Rashid, who is the head of HR in Hapco. He's the head of human capital in Hapco, and this person came in Hapco from Angro. He's an engineer. And he came into in as an operations manager, and then he went into HR, and he had grown into a manager HR first, and then he knows the organization inside out. He has this opportunities, and now what happens is, earlier this last year, by the way, Hapco has gone into another phase of restructuring. So good luck to them. But earlier, 2 years back, he was promoted as the new business ventures head as well.
That's great.
So this is how organizations actually, keep their employees busy in developing.
Yeah.
And these organizations actually catch their employees' potential. Like earlier I said that the entire organization depends on the knowledge, skills, abilities of the of the entire staff. So one unit is very important. Yeah, you please go ahead.
So what happened? Observed that, especially in the pharmaceutical sector, most of the employees are working as a sales team, and he continued the work from the last 10 to 15 years. And after a certain period of time, they lost their job. And after that, they feel guilty that why haven't they switched the job at the early stage? So how would you take this, especially in this sector? What is the best career advice for them?
Mudassir, that is not a very easy question to answer. Actually, it has so many components. these guys who actually make this mistake, number one, they are actually making a mistake earlier than that. They are going into not core, not associate, but support roles. Most of the people
Yeah.
who are laid off, they are from either HR or admin, or maybe in certain cases finance, and these people are highly operational. Every
Yes, sir.
person who has certain kind of skill, they have takers outside the organizations. And if you don't have zero takers, if you have zero takers outside the organization, you are in danger within the organization as well. So what you should be looking at is your own mistake. You shouldn't be looking at the mistake of the organization. They actually carried you for their benefit until their benefit was no longer to be reaped. And once you are, you वो मैं इसमें मिसाल बड़ी अजीब सी है, लेकिन बहरहाल देनी पड़ती है. जो आपका शुगर केन होता है, उसका जो साइकिल होता है वो 2 से 3
जी
दफा
जी
से ज्यादा
जी
नहीं होता. तो आपका भी साइकिल 15 साल से ज्यादा का नहीं होता अगर आप ऐसी
जी
सिचुएशन में. So you have to revamp yourself. आपको जो है, I actually keep on telling people, it is not the technology that is making you redundant. It is you not adopting the technology that is making you redundant.
yeah. First like that.
Yeah. So people actually don't realize that they have become redundant. Nobody is concerned about their, uplifting. They're not interested. Why in Pakistan chartered accountants or maybe ACCAs or maybe ICMAs are better than MBS?
Yeah.
Because
It's
their
a
institutions, actually invest in their continuous professional development, as well as they actually keep on telling them where to look for the next opportunity. Whereas our MBA institutions, they never actually do that.
In the last session with Dr. Tehseen Javed and Sir Usman Ali Khan, we discussed the same issue. Okay, we have the more importance of the certifications rather than the person who has a degree holder. And the reason is the
That's
same
very
which you
true.
gave it to us.
Yes, absolutely. Because the continuous professional development kicks in when you are actually at a certain stage in the organization, and when you are, I can go on and on about, the hierarchy in which you go. There are parallel pathways on which you can actually walk within the organization vertically as well as horizontally. So there are so many ways in which you can grow in the organization. But one, if the organization is not growing, what are you going to do? Number two, if you are not growing within the organization, what are you going to do? Whose fault is it?
Yeah. Sir, here's one more problem. See, no one wants to leave their comfort zone. We join any organization, we are working in that, getting the salaries on time, and we start believing that we are happy in that. But again, after a certain period of time, when the organization believes that there is no use of it, so say they goodbye to the employee. And at that time, there's no zone. पहले तो फिर comfort zone था, अब तो वो zone ही खत्म हो जाता है फिर तुम्हारा.
बिल्कुल ऐसे ही. अच्छा, you should be reviewing your CV for new skills every 2 years. And when you don't find something new on your CV every 2 years, you should be worried, because the organization actually, if you are not doing anything new in the organization, what are you getting money for?
Exactly.
You're getting money for attending the office, and eventually your attendance, sorry for being rude, but you're getting money for attending the office, and certain time, actually, the organization and the owners of the organization, they take certain time, after which they actually keep looking for people who are redundant, and they actually target them, and they ask their manager, what these guys are doing, what does this person do? He has spent so many years in the organization, where is he now? And eventually, if you don't have a boss who actually works on your career, you are redundant anyways. So bye.
It happens. Even I'm noticing the number of organizations, a person who worked from the last 30 years, And after that, organization asked that right now उनकी क्या status है, क्या position है, and they were not satisfied, so they asked them to leave that organization. And वो बनता बोला था कि मैंने अपने 30 साल organization को दी, organization ने मेरे साथ ये किया. But again, problem is that
आपने अपने 30 साल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को नहीं दिए, आपने वो 30 साल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में गुजारे. अगर कोई शख्स अपनी उम्र के 30 साल गुजारता है किसी जगह पे, क्या वो बूढ़ा हो रहा है या वाइज हो रहा है? Two different things.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Again, in the last thing is that organization अगर अच्छी भी है, it's a learning organization, still you need to change the organization after a certain period of time, or you if you are growing, getting promotions, getting all the benefits, so you should grow into that same organization.
Every 2 years you should review. Every 2 years you should review.
What happened that we get a increment of the 10%, but then you switch the organization, you get a good salary.
There's a fine line between getting a good salary and growing in your career. People actually have this in mind that getting good money is somewhat the goal of your job. That's no longer the case. That's no longer the case. When Pakistan came into being and our country was in the stage of development, there were very different circumstances. We had come from different circumstances, and people had migrated and whatnot. So families were developing families, and they had this concept of भाई वो मामा का बच्चा आ जाएगा, वो हमारे घर पे रहेगा, and they are going to spend so money. These people had so many resources at that time. So that era passed, and then came an era of industrialization, and then came an era of going into the organization, and now these people were concentrated on making what? Their houses, property. Okay, and this era has also passed. Now the era in which we are living, we are actually in an era of entrepreneurship. We are in an era of data collection, data manipulation, and mark my words, Mudassir, the winner is going to be the person who has the most data and able to use it.
Yeah, able to use it is very important.
Yeah, and the person who has the data, he or she is going to be very important. They are going to be the gatekeeper. And if you are able to use that data, you are the winner. You are the real winner.
So true. Even right now.
Yeah.
Please continue, sir.
No.
Right now, I even observed that all the business universities also work on the incubation centers, and now almost all the universities has its own incubation centers. Although it's too late, but maybe someone gets the benefit from it.
Acha, my concern is from the universities. Why are we mushrooming MBA programs? I'm sorry, I'm using your channel to actually make my
voice. No.
But the problem is that our parents actually they invest in our education.
Yeah.
And the most the most flashy and the most catchy qualification these days in trend is MBA. But my question is, what good is an MBA on its own merit? I am a career counselor. I have invested 16 plus years in only HR, and I know careers. I've made CVs for high class professionals, which are CEOs, CFOs, like they're top people. I have seen careers from the very, I'm a very keen learner in that area, and I've seen it very keenly. Most of the times, MBA even isn't there. Most of the times. So why are we investing so much country resources on MBAs? That's my question. The problem is that we are investing in the wrong direction, because of which we are in a vicious circle. And now what happens is that when you have actually invested in BBA, now if he's not getting a job or she is not getting a job, parent says that yaar maine itna kar liya to hum masters bhi kar lo. So they register them in masters, and this masters again, it doesn't lead anywhere. So this person, he or she pushes their parent to actually invest further, and now they are going to continue on a PhD or maybe a post graduate program. And what happens is that this person, without having any knowledge of the industry, without having any exposure, they are now in the business of teaching, and these people are teaching you, me, and everyone else, and the vicious circle actually continues.
I generally discuss this problem in our circle is that I give advice to them. Okay, do not go for any master's program after graduation until unless you're not on job.
Agreed.
Do spend some time in organization. Do spend some time in organization, and after it decide that if there's a need of the master's degree or not, and you want to do some specialization or certification, then after that you have to decide it. Again, problem is that क्या कर रहे हो, कुछ नहीं कर रहे, कुछ नहीं है, move for the master's program, फिर भी कुछ नहीं है, go for the MPhil, कुछ नहीं है, फिर PhD.
हाँ, exactly, कुछ नहीं है, कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है ना, आप बेसिकली परसिस्ट ही नहीं कर रहे, आप मार्केट में जा ही नहीं रहे, आप जो है वो डोर्स खटखटा ही नहीं रहे. मेरे एक दोस्त हैं, इनका नाम है फहद हसन खान बंगश, और फहद जो है वो मेरे जूनियर थे बहरिया में. अच्छा, फहद ने इतनी इंटरेस्टिंग हरकत की, उसकी जॉब जो है वो एक जगह से खत्म हुई, तो उसने क्या किया, उसने अपनी सीवी प्रिंट की, कोई तकरीबन 100 के करीब खद्दा पूरा प्रिंट किया उसके वो बनाया उसने जी, 100 सीवीज उसने जो है वो अपनी बनाई, और उसने बिल्कुल जो है बगैर शर्म किए हुए he went in from organizations to organizations, door to door, and he actually he got a job from that.
From where?
From this activity. और CVs ड्रॉप की और उसके अंदर से उसकी जॉब्स 3 जॉब्स उसको
माशाल्लाह.
और उसके बाद मैं आपको बताऊं, अभी वो अपना सफर करते करते कहाँ बैठा है. जब आप प्रोडक्टिव होते हैं तो यही होता है. वो पहले जो है वो हबीब ऑयल मिल्स में गया, हबीब ऑयल मिल्स से वो पाकिस्तान में गया, और अब वो 3M अमेरिका में बैठा हुआ है, वहाँ का रीजनल को हेड.
ग्रेट, माशाल्लाह.
ठीक है,
बट
तो जब लोग जो है वो
yeah, yes sir, please. Here's the problem is that no one wants to leave the comfort zone, and we do believe that now we have a concept of the email, just drop in an email, and after that we are going to get us some hi-fi job.
मैं जब HR में आया तो मैं उस वक्त ऑलरेडी जिस जगह पे मैं जॉब कर रहा था, I was actually earning 15,000 at that time in 2004. 2004 में 15,000 का मतलब होता था इस वक्त का कम से कम 40 लाख.
That's great.
ठीक है ना, वो इन्फ्लेशन की वजह से मैं वो बता रहा हूँ कि मतलब
हमारे डॉलर भी 60 से नीचे था, आई थिंक
60 के करीब ही था, कुछ इसी तरह था. अच्छा, what I am telling you is that once I was offered a career, I knew that I might be able to get. First of all, the thing was that the manager, Mr. Amir Beg, he was the manager at that time, and he is still my mentor. I actually consider him my mentor. He is my all-time mentor. So Amir Sahab inspired me so much that I left those 15,000 rupees and I came at half the salary, 8,000 rupees.
Serious?
And I started. Yes, I crashed my career, comfort zone. And one of the few things that I had to do earlier was that I was BBA, and I had a counterpart who was a bachelor's, but and he was a very experienced, seasoned person. मैं BBA करके आया हूँ, मेरा एक एटीट्यूड होना चाहिए आजकल के दौर के हिसाब से, राइट? आपको पता है, I had such a wonderful time with Fuzail साहब. Like, once this gets on air, he will also be watching, and he'll be, vouching for this as well. He was almost 15 years, 20 years senior than me, and we were at the same level. I started beneath him, junior, and after
Yeah,
a while, I headed him. But we had such a wonderful relationship. Even today, we enjoy that relationship. He
that's
is my
great.
elder brother, but I actually manage him. So it happens. You have to crash your comfort zone. You have to go out. You have to go all out if you want to do something in your life.
थैंक यू सो मच सर, इट्स अ वंडरफुल डिस्कशन और बहुत मज़ा आया, टाइम का पता भी नहीं चला। और
Exactly. आगे
the last advice which you want to give to the HR persons, those who are in the organizations and the employee, कि वो किस तरीके से अपनी डायरेक्शन को डिसाइड कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा, सबसे पहले तो HR की बात हो जाए, HR पर्सन्स की बात हो जाए। HR पर्सन को सबसे पहले ये देखना है कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का मैच्योरिटी लेवल है क्या।
ठीक है,
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मैच्योर होती नहीं है, उनका बेसिकली जैसे जैसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मैच्योर होती है ना मुदस्सर, तो होता क्या है कि आप जो है वो बेसिकली पोस्ट ऑफिस बॉक्स से आप आहिस्ता आहिस्ता जो है वो चलते हुए पहले आते हैं, फिर डिसीजन मेकर की तरफ, और उसके बाद फिर आप जो है वो आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की बैकबोन बन जाते हैं। जब तक आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पार्टनर की हैसियत इख्तियार नहीं कर लेते, तब तक कि आपका करियर आगे नहीं जाने वाला। आप फिर वही सपोर्ट जॉब में, तो आपकी जॉब खतरे में ही है शुरू से, ठीक है ना। अगर आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मैच्योर नहीं है, गेट आउट ऑफ दैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एज सून एज पॉसिबल, ठीक है। आपने जो भी अपना इनिशियल लर्निंग लेनी है एचआर की, पेरोल्स बनाना सीख लिया जी, रिक्रूटमेंट करनी सीख ली, थोड़ी बहुत ट्रेनिंग देनी सीख ली, बाहर आ जाओ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से, किसी और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर चले जाओ। इट टेक्स 2 years, 1.5 year टू गेट ट्रेन्ड एंड 6 months टू फाइंड अ न्यू जॉब। तो आप अपनी जो है मतलब भले आपको उसमें सैलरी थोड़ी बहुत सेक्रीफाइस करना पड़े, यहाँ पे आपकी सैलरी इवेंचुअली रुक जाएगी।
लॉन्ग टर्म अप्रोच
आपको जी लॉन्ग टर्म अप्रोच रख के अपने करियर का, भाई आप अपने करियर का खुद अगर ख्याल नहीं करेंगे तो कोई आपके करियर का ख्याल नहीं करेगा, सही है। और जो मेरी यंगर जनरेशन से जो अभी जो सुन रहे हैं, आई वुड लाइक टू टेल देम दैट द फ्यूचर इज इन डेटा एनालिसिस। द organizations are deploying ERPs. They want to know more about their operations and the nitty-gritties of those operations. They want analysis. So whoever is at the helm of those analysis, they are going to win. So target those positions.
Sir, just last one more thing. You discussed the role of the BBA and the MBA. BBA वाले अगर इस concept को aware कर दिया जाए कि rather to go for the MBA program or any other program, they just start their own something with that amount. So how much it realistic or it possible in the environment of the Pakistan ecosystem?
अच्छा देखो, सबसे पहले ना मुदस्सिर, we should not be jumpy in this conclusion. There is a catch to it. The catch is that not all people are meant to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So there are people, सबसे पहले आपको ये देखना है कि आपकी जो भी नीड्स हैं, सबसे पहले एक चीज है ना, आपने बीबीए कर रहे हैं आप, आपके जो है वो फादर बूढ़े हो रहे हैं या आपकी मदर जो है उनको ऐसी जरूरत है कि कॉन्स्टेंटली आपको जो है वो कोई अर्निंग करनी है, तो भाई जॉब्स हमने भी की हैं बिफोर। मैं आई एम अ रियली अ जॉब पर्सन, आई वुडंट हैव मेड दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इफ आई वाज नॉट कंपेल्ड अंडर ये एक नेशनल कॉज है जिसके लिए मैं यहाँ पे बैठा हूँ। अगर ये नेशनल कॉज नहीं होती, आई वोंट हैव एक्चुअली प्रेफर्ड टू बी इन दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, और फॉर दैट मैटर मतलब मैं अपना बिजनेस कभी खोलने का नहीं सोचता, लेकिन आई एम कंपेल्ड टू डू दैट बिकॉज नोबडी इज डूइंग। So that's a compulsion for me. Similarly, if you are compelled to do a job, no problem. But when your circumstances allow, उसके लिए आप थोड़ा थोड़ा अपनी बचत करके रखें, और उसके लिए जो है वो मतलब अपने आप को तैयार कर रहे हैं, इसके लिए भी रेडीनेस है, आपके एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के भी रेडीनेस है। एक उसके अंदर सबसे बड़ा एलिमेंट ये है कि आपको नुकसान उठाना आना चाहिए। आप अगर नुकसान उठाना नहीं जानते, यू आर नॉट,
डोंट गो फॉर इट।
डोंट गो फॉर इट। अच्छा, रिस्क अवर्जन। अच्छा, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज ऑल अबाउट टू थिंग्स, न्यू आइडियाज एंड रिस्क मैनेजमेंट।
Yeah.
Okay? So
True.
if you have a new idea, you need to understand how you're going to cover the risk. If you're ready for doing both of these things, go ahead. Nobody is stopping you. But you should be an entrepreneur in order to be, in order to take that decision. If you're not that kind of a person, do not listen to anyone. Do not listen to motivational speakers. Do not
Yeah.
listen to anyone. Okay, you're not an entrepreneur. You don't like to be an entrepreneur. You don't like risks. You don't. You want to mitigate your risks before that. You come into something. So it's a very good opportunity to continue in good organizations, learn whatever you need to learn, and then come one fine day and say that I'm starting my business. Start a side hustle, do something for yourself, but don't listen to any uh, motivational speaker who says that जी हो जाएगा कर लेंगे. भाई नहीं होता, नहीं कर सकते. सही है. आपको पहले रेडी होना होता है उस लेवल ऑफ रेडीनेस, और सबसे ज्यादा रेडी आपकी माइंड होनी चाहिए उसकी.
Yeah.
क्योंकि मैं आपको बताऊं, खून मांगती है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन.
बिल्कुल.
खून मांगती है आपको, जो है वो सबसे पहले आपका अपना खून मांगती है. और आपको जो है वो ऐसे भी एक्सपीरियंसेस होंगे कि लोग जो है वो आपके साथ आके जुड़ेंगे एंड दे विल एक्चुअली बिकम कभी कभी जो है वो डिसइल्यूजन हो जाते हैं. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि जो है वो आपकी डायरेक्शन कहीं और है, वो आपको जो है वो कहीं और लेके जाना चाह रहे हैं.
जी
तो
जी जी जी.
थाउजेंड्स ऑफ थिंग्स हैपन, और आपको इतना मजबूत होना होता है कि आप राइट टाइम पे राइट डिसीजन ले सकते. दिस इज व्हाट द गेम इज.
Thank you so much, sir, again for sharing your time with us, and it's an honor for me to have you on my show.
Honor for
And
me.
the way you educate the society and the way you educate me, it's again a very important discussion. And the very key point is that you highlight the entrepreneurship is not the piece of cake. It's not for the everyone. You have to analyze your personality first of all. Okay, what kind of personality or the traits do you have? And if you're fit in that organization, so there's no need to change or to jump into that startup or to the entrepreneurship. You go for some investment plans and increase your income. Thank you so much again. Allah Hafiz and take care.
Thank you very much. बहुत शुक्रिया. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.